have a lateral flow test or one of the other cheaper tests to see whether somebody has COVID, and only if they prove positive, give them the expensive PCR test. Now, the chances of anyone coming in from a green country when most of us will have been vaccinated anyway and have tested negative before getting on the plane, the chance of anyone like that actually having COVID is incredibly low. So why get them to go straight to the gold standard expensive PCR test? Why not do what we do with the NHS and with schools and have a quick and cheap test and then have a PCR test only when necessary?
Is there any frustration that we still don't have the confirmation of the May 17th date, and also that this list of countries? I imagine, I mean, when do you need to know? When do you think holidaymakers need to know what countries will be on this list?
Well, I think we'd like to know as soon as we can. In reality, I think we'll find out which countries are on the list early in May. But most people thinking going on holiday, that will be enough time because it's well ahead of the summer holiday season. It will even be in time for those who want to go away for the half term. But for businesses and people who want to visit friends and relatives, many of those will still be able to make their plans.
What we don't have the list, but I guess we can all guess. What kind of destinations do you think would in current situations deserve a place on the UK's green list?
Well, the definition for the green lists are low levels of COVID, high levels of vaccination, low variants of concern. So I tend to think of places like the United States, Israel, the Caribbean, the United Arab Emirates, and places like Singapore and South Korea. So some of these are long-haul business destinations, but many of them are also holiday destinations as well, and places where friends and family might be living. So if we could get these kinds of countries connected under the green scheme, that would be a massive start.
And just looking ahead, I mean, eventually we all want things to go back to restriction-free travel, back to how they were, as it were. What do you think needs to happen for us to finally get to a stage where we don't need a traffic light system, where we can actually travel freely? What's the most important thing you think the government can do to help us get to that stage?
Well, this is a good step forward, and one of the big things the government has done is to remove the need for quarantine for people coming from green countries. So that's a good start. But they're planning to have regular reviews of this framework at the end of June and then over the summer and in the autumn. And I would hope that by that time, more countries around the world have got their vaccination programs up and running, COVID levels have come down, and we can start to change the green category so that it doesn't require all of this testing as well as the other checks that we have in place. So we should aim to get back to travel as it used to be, with lower restrictions for green countries and more countries being designated as green. And I would hope that by the time we get to next summer, most countries would be in that situation with free travel as it used to be.
Fantastic. Really appreciate that, John. Thank you very much.
Okay, my pleasure. Thanks, Neil.
Goodbye.
Cheers.